Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.
Welcome to the meat market. The single scene is a slaughterhouse and we are here to devour it. We are your hosts. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Jess.
And today's sizzling single is JC. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you ladies?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, actually.
So I have a question. You are from Canada. You live in the USA now. Are the Canadian men different from the American men?
Well, they say Canadian men are nicer. But
They say Canadians in
are
general
nice,
are
but I mean,
nicer.
come on, it's just like a stereotype. I mean, I've met good and bad, whatever, but you know, I was in Calgary for 15 years before moving here, so very rustic, kind of like Denver.
Oh, okay.
Did you date much there?
In Canada, a couple, a little here and there.
Yeah.
I have a couple stories from Canada, but yeah. But, you know, I moved here and with my dog. Me and my dog decided to move to the U.S., so here I am.
Are the men more aggressive here in America? More forward?
I don't know, more aloof. Maybe in some
Really?
Yeah.
More aloof? Huh.
Yeah. And maybe a little, it depends, I think, you know, it depends. I've tried dating older, younger. I don't really have a stereotype of what age, you know? There's a click, or if you have a vibe,
Yeah.
kind of go with it, you know?
Do you typically make the first move, or do you like the other guy to make the first move?
I mean, come on, we all like somebody else to make a move, right?
Right.
But I'm not exactly shy, so, you know, I have no problems. I'll go out, travel by myself, do all that kind of stuff. I'm like, if you want to do it, you got to just go out and do it, right?
So on the dating apps, do you ever reach out? Do you ever make the first move and take initiative to message them first?
I mean, I'll swipe in the right direction.
And then wait for that message to come in.
But you know what? I've done both, right? It's nice
Yeah.
when you get you know, somebody takes the initiative, but I have no problems doing it as well, you know? And sometimes you meet a great person, and sometimes you have a story for the friends.
That's true. Do you have any go-to moves in person, like that you do when you're out, when you're traveling?
I mean, it's lame, but it's like you always buy somebody a drink. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's classic, right?
Do you send a drink, or do you ask, hey, can I buy you a drink?
I just like be observant as to what the person's drinking.
Okay.
And yeah, usually buy them a drink or just hand them a drink.
Okay.
I think I'm past that point of just having a friend do it. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of takes away from it, I think. You know, when you're trying to get to know somebody and initially start up a conversation. So I kind of will do it myself.
Yeah.
So you said you travel a lot. Do you have travel romances or travel one-night stands? Or
A hoe in every
Listen.
area code.
So you want the 411?
are you naughty on the road?
You know, I've dated on the road. I had an ex that I met in Denver, and he moved here, and then we moved there, and then we moved back. And then he moved back by himself.
Oh, what?
Which is probably good. It was definitely a good thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I figure it opens up your possibilities and opportunities, right? Because I look after a few states and have somebody that reports to me from Canada and stuff. So I travel a bit for work, which keeps it exciting. You make your own schedule, so it has its pros and cons, you know?
So you'd be open to a long-distance relationship?
With an end in sight, you know, like you have to have a conversation as to, you know, what does this look like long term, you know? But yeah, I mean, why would you not? I mean, if the right person's out there, I think. You know?
Right.
So I have a question for you too.
Uh-oh.
Are you members of the Mile High Club? What? You are? How did I not know this?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was going to say, it seems like it would be so uncomfortable and squished and like stressful, right?
Yeah. I feel like the only way you could would be like on a private plane. You wouldn't. It would be hard on a commercial flight.
Or on one of those Dubai planes where they have the showers in there.
So what is like to be on the Mile High Club? Do you have to go to the restroom?
No, but I think you have to have sex. Like it has to be. I don't think just like a quick finger bang counts. Does it?
A quick blowy.
Well, a blowy might. I feel like.
So,
I feel like oral sex would count.
Are you a member of the Mile High Club?
No.
No? Okay.
Yet.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Keep
it's kind
options
of on my
open,
bucket
right?
list. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't even think I've
Yeah.
fooled around on a plane. Have you?
No. I think it's disrespectful to the people that
It's
you're
true.
sitting around.
What
And
if
flights
there's
are
nobody
so
beside
packed
you? What if
and
you have
that's
the
the
whole
thing.
row?
If there's nobody beside you, it's one thing. But flights are so packed nowadays. I feel like it's hard because
That's true. They cram so many people in.
so many people in.
Maybe if you're in first class, it's empty, the lights are off, you have the blankets.
You have a blanket. You have to have
Well,
a
you have
blanket.
to set the mood and light a candle. Well, you can't light a candle.
You have to order champagne.
Well, for sure, right? I mean, like you're in first class, you need a little blanket.
Yeah.
So technically, if you're in first class, there's usually two of you, right? So yeah, I mean, there's been a little hot and heavy in first class.
Yeah. I think we should do a poll. Like what counts, what qualifies you for the Mile High Club? Because just, you know, first, second base.
I always assume it's having sex in the restroom, but there are other places to have sex on the flight.
Yeah.
You know that a lot of action happens in the cockpit. It's called the cockpit for a reason.
There was this story going around online that there was some private flight that was designed just for that. It had like a bed in the back seat.
Really?
And it was
Really?
it was like some sort of special like
So it's like
Deal.
the airborne Playboy Mansion.
kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of.
The gay
Kind of.
equivalent would be just be any circuit party. Seen some interesting things on the dance floor.
Oh, that's funny. I have
saying.
too, actually. I've been to a gay bar or two, and the people watching on the dance floor is definitely top notch at
Do
the
they
gay
get down?
bars. Oh yeah,
Really?
Oh
But,
yeah.
You know, my biggest fear is like, what if there's people that you don't want to participate try?
Right? Exactly.
Like you can usually pick your person, but I mean, you know, there's you put it out there. It's kind of like, well, you kind of have to expect there's people going to want to join. Mm-hmm. So
It's
I don't know.
true.
To each their own. I'm not a prude, but that's just a little bit too much for me. I'm not. I'll be the one like looking from a distance, but I won't be the one participating.
Right.
Just
Right.
saying.
We toe the line of like
Yeah.
public
Just kind of.
of acts, but we don't cross it, right?
Exactly.
Like
You
first
gotta
class,
have some standards.
First class under the blanket on an airplane, like
Completely
is one
fine
thing,
with
but
champagne.
in the middle of the dance floor at the club
No.
is something totally
little
different.
trashy.
It
Come on.
is. It is.
So how do you meet people out here? Are you on the apps? Do you go to clubs?
All of the above.
Yeah.
So
How are the apps?
Oh my God. Today it's 2025, so you know, we're fortunate because there's a lot more ways to meet people, but there's a lot more BS out there, right? There's like scammers and catfish, and I mean, I remember this one experience where, I mean, so many times catfish. You meet somebody and it's like, wow, I bet you were hot when you were 30, 40, or 50. Like, all right, I mean, maybe you should have used the picture in the last couple centuries, you know? Like, I mean, you try to be nice, but there gets to be a point, right? You know, like, yeah, there's just stuff like that. So yeah, I'm on the apps, you know, you got to take the good with the bad, you know?
So when that happens, when you go on a date and you're clearly being catfished, do you follow through with the date? Do you leave? Do you call them out?
It depends how bad the catfish is, I think.
Or how interested,
Yeah.
like if you're interested, have you have any interest at all in maintaining like a friendship or any sort of relationship
Well, I think,
with
how
them
can you
too,
maintain
maybe?
a friendship when you started off lying,
It's true.
that's true.
That is true.
right? And I think, like, when you do a catfish, it's kind of like you plan on meeting the person. And we all age, like, God, we have my age coming up. I'm going to hit a birthday, which I don't want no more birthdays, but, you know, we all get older. You know, so it's not about getting older. It's about just being honest and truthful.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to find out some stuff along the way. Don't start from a point of a lie.
And I feel like at our age, we're done with the bullshit. We're done with the lying. We just want authenticity.
Over the bullshit.
Yeah.
But like you've said before, people think they still look how they looked 10 years ago.
We're in denial.
Right?
then they need
Exactly.
glasses.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I wear glasses sometimes too. It's like, but you know, it's good to have, and you feel great about yourself sometimes, and you know, look after oneself, and do all the things, right? We age, you know, everybody ages, you know, so it just kind of, it's one of those things. I think when you're going out there and you're putting yourself out there, if I'm being truthful and sincere, you expect, and when we try to expect that from others, but you don't always get it back, right? But when you put yourself out there, you got to know that there's going to be good and bad. It's kind of part of the game.
I don't understand. If I was single nowadays, meeting people online, I would 100% FaceTime before I make the time
no
and
reason why
effort
you
and
can't.
energy
I would too.
to
I
meet
would
them in person.
too.
Wouldn't you FaceTime before you meet in person?
Absolutely.
Because it's such a
Absolutely.
quick, easy
Yes,
thing to do.
like not a test. I shouldn't call it a test, but it kind of is a test.
Yeah.
like
It is a test, kinda.
You know what I mean? Like is this a real person, and do they look like what they look like in their pictures?
It takes away the fraud aspect, right? And the
yes.
catfish.
Yes,
I have a friend that met a guy that was out of state and he was going to fly out to meet her and they hadn't FaceTimed yet. I'm like, you've never met in person. He's going to fly out for a weekend. I think you should probably invest 10 minutes in a FaceTime, right?
It's not that hard.
It's not.
There's no reason why you can't nowadays, right? So that's one thing definitely that I've incorporated into the dating scene. If it's online, is as long as there's blue dots when you text, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Do you judge?
I mean, we all judge a little. Come on.
It is
like, let's
true.
be honest.
It is true.
But when there's green dots, I'm like, all right, so it's either an Android or a Google number.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's true. Or WhatsApp if they want to WhatsApp
oh my God,
you.
WhatsApp. That's a complete block and delete. Like when you're talking to somebody and they're like, and I'm like, I've learned this. You just kind of go, is there any other platforms you like to talk on or you want to chat somewhere else? It's like, yeah. Do you have WhatsApp or telephone? I'm like, WhatsApp. Okay. Yeah, block, delete.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
because we're both in Phoenix. Why do we need to chat on WhatsApp?
Exactly.
Or even like somewhere in the U.S.
That's how I always feel too. Unless you're someone that I've met on an international trip, there's no reason for us to be chatting on WhatsApp.
No. On an international trip in first class with champagne.
Exactly. The standards are rising after
With
this
a blanket.
episode.
Can we have extra blankets, please? So tell us about your last relationship. How long was that? Why did it end?
My last relationship was close to 2 years. Not quite, but up there, close to 2 years. It ended just because, well, I mean, he was a narcissist for the most part. And I seen early on, he was always the smartest person in the room, always right, yeah. So, but, he had a lot of great qualities, nobody's perfect, so thinking things will change. And he'd always argue. And there was no affection, lack of intimacy.
Ooh.
And he flipped it back that it was my fault. I remember one time I was staying at my place, and he came in, and I went to say, hey, how's it going? And, haven't seen him for a bit. Go to give him a kiss, and he goes, not right now, just because you want it. And he walks upstairs. He walks upstairs and comes down an hour later. He's like, do you want that kiss? I'm like, I don't want the fucking kiss.
What
now.
a dick.
But lots of little
Seriously.
examples like that. I mean, so it's just like, yeah, so it ended for those type of reasons, and wish him well, just not for me,
Sounds like you dodged a bullet and you're better off without him.
Yeah, and my family and everybody's like, wow, like, yeah.
Next.
Like, I'm no longer with so-and-so, and they're like, awesome, we're happy. Look, you could have told me this before, but
I feel like that always happens with family. They see it and friends, they see it way before you do. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you would have let me know, like my rose-colored glasses were on, you know what I mean?
on. So, I mean, the thing that I've learned now is basically when you look and you're wanting to meet somebody, flags are real. Trust yourself. Trust your gut. Because it won't do you wrong.
You have a story about not trusting your gut, right? Ignoring those red flags, and then it didn't work out, and you're like, dang it.
Yes. So, which one? Yeah, I mean, I met somebody over the holidays, and super nice person, and actually, that's not the one I want to use, because that one I trusted my gut, and it ended. But my ex of 5 years, which we went from Denver here back and forth, and early on, we kind of continued because I figure the grass is not greener, and early on there were signs. He was a very beautiful man, but he always sought unnecessary attention. And this was, we're going back a few years, like 2015, 2016. And social media was just kind of kicking off, like Instagram, that type of stuff. And, he didn't have Instagram. I'm like, okay, well, whatever, But my gut was always, my spidey senses were tingling. And whenever we would go out, people would be like, hey, how are you doing? So Brian was his name. I said, how you doing, Brian? And I'm like, oh, but you always complain you have no friends, but everybody seems to know you. He's like, whatever, he'd ignore the people. And my gut was always telling me, like, something's off, something's wrong. He did a whole photo shoot once, and I found out by seeing the pictures posted online.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, and I found an Instagram, and I mean, so my senses were there. I just chose to ignore them.
So he had all the social medias.
He had them. Oh,
but
yeah.
he wasn't sharing them
And there were some
with
DMs.
you.
There were some DMs that I ended up reading because it's like I never want to be that person again where you don't trust, right? Because when you don't trust, and I travel for work, it's hard, right? I like went into his phone. I know you're not supposed. I went into his phone because I didn't trust, and I saw everything that I was fearful I would find.
Well, there's a reason why he was hiding his social media from you. You don't
Correct.
have to hide something unless you're doing
Like,
something
I don't
wrong.
care.
Exactly.
Like in today's day and age, like my niece, she's gorgeous. She lives in Orange County. She's going to school in Orange County, and like the photos she takes on the beach, I'm like, oh my god. But she's beautiful. Like I mean, she's dating someone. It's fine. Just be honest and upfront. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice if you have an attractive partner that looks after themselves, he or she, whatever you fancy. You know what? If you're honest and upfront, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't. You should be like, wow, yeah, look at them. That's awesome. You're proud of them.
Yeah.
You know?
I've learned that lesson too. I had an ex that it was like going through the phone situation. And it's like, now I know if you have to go through the phone, the relationship is already over.
There's no trust,
There
right?
There is no trust.
And everybody hated me, I think. Like, he would tell these stories that I found out after the fact about me, that I was such this mean person, or I saw an email that he was telling a professor that I need some more time because I'm going through an abusive relationship.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was just insane. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
It was just, you live and learn. And I mean, I've had a couple relationships since then. And my last one, I learned the most, of what I want, what I don't want. I've gotten a couple dates with some people, and those flags, they're deal breakers.
So what are your deal breakers?
Some of my like anger issues, how you treat other people, empathy, people with lack of empathy. I'm very sincere and genuine. So when you go out and you go on a date and you have somebody that's so rude to the staff,
Deal breaker.
I mean, there's no reason. Like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Right? Like, those are deal breakers. And, confidence is fine. But when you take it to, like I'm vain sometimes about me, how I look, how I present myself.
We all are.
But
a
I'm
little
not
bit.
arrogant, and I'm not, I'm just not, I'm not.
You don't believe you're better than anyone
No,
else
nobody's better than
because of how
anybody else,
you look or yeah.
So describe your perfect partner. What are you looking for?
So Zac Efron.
Oh, he's a bit of all right.
He just doesn't know it yet. He just doesn't know it yet.
Is Zac Efron gay?
What's that? No.
Is Zac Efron gay?
I
No.
mean, I'm sure he's not. I mean, I could put it in
You
the
never know in
universe.
Hollywood, though.
It is true. It is
I
true.
mean,
Zac, call us.
Like, I'll let you know when we do the FaceTime, okay?
Okay.
So my perfect partner, I think, would be obviously somebody being truthful. You have to be attracted to the person, right? Usually somebody's a little bit taller than me, looks after themselves. I mean, I'm turning 50. God, I can't believe I just said
You
that.
look amazing,
Yeah.
by the way.
I'm 49 in the holding, 50 in September, and I mean, I have no problem.
What day is your birthday?
September 26th.
Oh, I'm the 8th. That's close to your husband's.
21st, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I look after myself, so there's no reason. And I usually like dating somebody younger. I just feel I have a younger vibe, and I mesh well with somebody. So there's no reason if somebody in their 30s to look after themselves, take care of. We have one body, so it just kind of. I like everything I shouldn't, like chocolate cakes, chips. I mean, red wine. I have wine nights. So, I mean, somebody looks after themselves, somebody who's driven, somebody who is I'm a romantic at heart. So somebody who's romantic and somebody who, just a good person.
Are you looking to get married? Are you looking for something long-term?
I'm long-term.
Long-term.
Slow and steady wins the race. I learned there's no reason to rush, but somebody who's genuine, sincere, caring, loyal. And eventually, if it comes to marriage, I'm not opposed.
And what are your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time?
Like long walks in the park.
Paint the picture.
I mean, okay,
Rom-com.
so hobbies in the spare time. My dogs. Dogs are important. I love my baby dogs. I have an English and a French bulldog.
Oh.
And what else do I like to do? Go to the gym. Classic cars. I'm restoring a 1957 Chevy.
Oh, cool.
My girl's Dolly Parton. Love me some Dolly. So
I love Dolly.
I named her
Yes.
Dolly, so my car's name is Dolly.
I love that.
So my dad is restoring it in Canada. Wine nights with my BFF Mary. I'm so lucky. She watches my dogs when I travel. So we have wine nights. I love entertaining at the house. all of those type of things, pretty normal. I don't know. I think they're normal, but maybe not so much. I don't know. There's other things too, but we'll talk about that on a date. Just pretty, just down to earth.
Yeah. What is your craziest date story? Do you have any disastrous
my
dates?
God.
He's like, which one?
Which one? I mean, this one's pretty crazy. So, again, met on an app, right? And chatting. I was like, oh, this is awesome. FaceTimed. So the guy was legit. Like, this is so awesome. Went FaceTime, met, and we made plans to go out for a bite to eat. Sushi. I love sushi. Sushi's my favorite meal. So went out to have a bite to eat, have some sushi. And the guy walks in. I was like, yes, he looks exactly like he does, FaceTime, as you should. But there was somebody else walked in with him. So I'm like, this is kind of weird. But I'm like, well, maybe he was just like wanted a friend, right? Which is still kind of weird. But he never mentioned somebody else was coming.
For a first date?
For a first date.
Okay.
So I was just like, all right.
Weird.
So we sat down and he's like, yeah, this is my husband, blah, blah, blah.
What?
I'm like, what? This is your husband? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you didn't say that. I'm like, anywhere through the last couple of weeks of chatting, whatever, there was no talk of you having a husband or being married. And he's like, yeah, but, I figured if you met us in person and we talked about this. I'm like, hey, I'm not one to judge. People, like, whatever your sexuality, who am I to judge? If you want to have a thruple or whatever.
A thruple,
or whatever it is.
Yes, or open marriage or whatever.
It's hard enough to deal with one man. Like, can you imagine two?
My God.
We've talked about this before because we've had some
I'm like hard
polyamorous.
pass. So it's just like, I was just so pissed. I
I'd
was,
be furious.
like, to put me in that awkward setting, right? And I was like, no, I mean, that's not what I want.
That's deceitful that they weren't upfront about that.
But they just show up, right? Like, who does that?
Who does that?
Yeah.
So I was like, and then he was just like, well, I thought if we were both here, and they're both really good-looking guys, right? And just they seem both professional. Well, I mean, I don't know. The one was, I didn't know a lot about the second one.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was one that stands out, obviously.
Which apps do you use like Grindr, the ones that are designed specifically for gay relationships, or do you use like the
sex?
Tinder gay sex? It's the gay hookup app?
Basically,
Grindr
yeah,
is
Grindr,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, what is it called?
Grindr, right?
He's
He's like, wait, what?
Never heard of it.
He's like, let me delete the app off my phone right now, really quick.
I've used Grindr, yeah, but it's kind of is what it is. There's Facebook dating is like kind of an app that's out there. I've tried. Hinge is actually a little bit better one.
Okay. I feel like we've had multiple people say that Hinge is the best one that they've used.
So Tinder is like the straight up version of gay Grindr.
Okay. Grindr
Right?
and Tinder are equivalent,
kind of
and then the rest of them are just
kind
like
of
a little
trickle.
step up.
Years ago there was like Match.com, and it was great, like probably 10 years ago. And then I tried it like about 5 years or whatever it was, and it was all scam, like just so much fraud, and it was just like probably the one that stands out the most.
Disappointing.
Really?
I mean, I've tried some things. I mean, I'm not going to say the name, but I had a matchmaking service here, paid $7,000 for unlimited dates. They interviewed me. Everything was great. Oh yeah, we'll find you somebody, blah, blah, blah. I did not check the Yelp reviews or the Better Business Bureau, so make sure people do that moving forward. Do your due diligence. I did not. And it was $7,000 for unlimited dates, and I got maybe 3 or 4 in Phoenix.
How were the dates? Were they caliber?
Oh my God. The first one that showed up, first of all, they asked for like 10, 15 photos of me, right? So that you know what you're getting. And then they sent 2 photos of this person. The first one, they're probably 7, 10 years apart. I was like, do you have anything like a little bit more accurate kind of thing? So they sent another photo, and then the person shows up, and hey, I don't care if somebody has a 6-pack, whatever, just look after yourself within reason, right? My dad has a smaller belly than this person, okay? And my dad's 77. He earned this pot belly, just saying. This guy was like 32, 33, 34. No excuses, all right? So I was so pissed. This is what I paid $7,000 for. The person walks in, and they say, you know what? We kind of recommend you pay for dinner and stuff because it's that chivalry. I'm like, yeah, no, whatever, no problem. He walked in, and I was just like, so we sat at the bar, and I'm stewing, right? And I paid the tab at the bar, and we went and sat down, and we're ordering, and we're talking, and I couldn't even tell you what he was talking about because I was just like, I
So
felt
focused.
like I was warm, like just upset, just you know,
Where your
like,
face gets hot.
yes, I was warm, and we ordered an appetizer, and I went to the restroom, and I was talking to my sister in the bathroom, like, what do I, she's like, are you still there? I'm like, yeah, because I feel I want to do the right thing. I don't want to be a complete ass, but yet this person wasn't honest with me, and the service was like horrible. So I went and talked to the waiter. I'm like, here's my credit card, whatever the person wants. I'm not doing this. I went, sat back down and said, look, this is not going to work. And I just said, you know, however you even want, the bill's paid. And I left. And as I sat in the car for like 20 minutes writing my little scathing thing to the matchmaker. And then they found me somebody else. They never ever found me anybody else in Phoenix. And then I traveled for work. So I was like, okay, we'll try. What about this state? Blah, 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 blah. And they found people in other areas that I told them about. But I learned they didn't really have a database. Everybody that met me, they actually maybe entered their information years ago, and they reached out, and they never paid a single thing. So I'm going on dates, being set up with people that have never put 5 cents into it. So there's, it was a bad experience. So if you ever deal with a matchmaking service, do your due diligence. I did not. So it is what it is. So I've tried some things.
Yeah.
So.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. The Keep More Minute, brought to you by Tactical Tax Strategies. They help you keep more in your wallet. We help you keep more in your relationship. So this is our listener question of the day. Let me pull it up here. All right. We have a question from Jenna. My boyfriend wants to bring his ex into the bedroom for a threesome. He swears it's just for fun, but I'm worried there's unfinished business. Am I being insecure, or is this a red flag wrapped in lingerie?
For me, that would be a hell no. Why would you need to bring your ex into the bedroom unless you still have feelings for the ex and still want the ex and miss him, right?
I think that's a very slippery slope.
Like, so, I mean, if it's an ex, there's a whole other degree of difficulty there. Somebody random, if they want to like play or be experimental, it would be somebody completely random in another city you'll never see again.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
But not an ex.
Yes.
Absolutely 100% no red flag.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, agreed that if you want to play around, that's fine to invite a third party, completely fine. But someone that you have no history with and no ties with.
Yeah, because if it's your ex, there were romantic feelings at one
I mean, you would think.
point in
right?
time. Yeah.
And like, what if bringing them in the bedroom opens up that box again? You know?
Yeah, once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it.
It is true. It is
so
true.
that would be like a no.
It'd be
hell no.
It'd be a hell no for me
No
too.
for me too. 3 no's.
No, exactly.
Maybe go on OnlyFans and find a random.
Right? It's funny because I have friends that like to bring in a third, and they do that exact same thing. They go out of town. They go to
Really?
Vegas.
Smart.
Yeah, they go to Vegas.
What happens in Vegas?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
they go to
true.
Vegas. They usually find someone before they go, but they go to Vegas, then meet, and then do their little.
Unless you get
thing and
herpes,
come
then that
back.
shit comes back
Oh
with
my
you.
God. The gift that keeps on giving.
That's hilarious. So I wanted to chat about this article that I read. It's 20 random, interestingly short, weird, and cool facts about the LGBT community. Some of these were super cool. So did you know the oldest known pornography dates back 3,000 years ago and features male and male, female and female, and male-female couples? But my question is this. How do they have pornography 3,000 years ago? Was it like drawings or?
Yeah, like I think
written?
it's like
I mean,
the carvings in
on
the
the
side
wall?
of the yeah.
In caves?
Yeah.
Stone carvings.
Well, like I can't remember what I was watching or reading or something, but it was about a brothel. Was it in the same thing? But it was about a brothel, and it was like there were carvings on the walls in front of each room, and the way you chose which sex worker you wanted to be with was by what the drawing was on the like in the stone wall. So it was like brothels of like the caveman days when they still did.
What happens with erosion though?
I have no idea. This stuff is still intact. I don't know.
Funny.
Yes.
So a billionaire from Hong Kong offered 50 million pounds to any man that could woo and marry his lesbian daughter. And guess what? didn't work. In the early 17th century in London, there was a gay brothel situated where Buckingham Palace is today.
Wow.
It used to be a gay brothel. I wonder if the royals knew. I bet that's why they chose the place.
I'm sure they still have a secret room.
They probably do.
Right?
They
I bet
probably
they
do. Soundproof.
Right? Added.
In the movie Back to the Future, there was a scene that was deleted where Marty tells Doc that he's scared that hitting on his mom could make him gay. Do you remember that scene where he goes back in time and the mother's like,
Yeah, the mother's there and she's all
right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe he's thinking that,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
Interesting.
That's interesting.
it's interesting, right? Do you know where the word drag comes from? The word drag is an acronym for a stage direction coined by Shakespeare and his contemporaries, meaning dressed resembling a girl. Drag.
Oh, interesting. I was just telling you, I went to a drag show recently in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm from Iowa.
Really?
And I went, my cousin and his partner just moved back a couple years ago from San Francisco. And so I went to visit them in Des Moines before going home. It's about 4 hours from where we live. He was like, do you want to go to a drag show? And I was like, in Des Moines, Iowa? Yes, sign me up. And it was an amazing drag
It was?
show.
Really?
Yes.
In Iowa?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. I can't remember the name of the bar, but shout out that drag show in Des Moines.
That is awesome. I know they have drag brunches here.
Yes, they do. I've never been, but I want to go.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's good times.
So did you know up until the late 1400s, the word girl only had meaning for a child of either sex. Male children were referred to as knave girls, whereas females were known as gay girls. Interesting. In 1962, American rock guitarist, singer, and songwriter Jimi Hendrix pretended to be gay in order to get out of the army.
Hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
This is
so
crazy
funny.
to me. It wasn't until 1982 that the gay-related immune disorder, GRID, was renamed Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, AIDS. It used to be called GRID, Gay-Related Immune Disorder. Isn't that crazy?
That's a fun fact.
That is a fun fact. That is a fun
Did you know the entire species of the dwarf chimpanzee are bisexual? In fact, homosexuality has been observed within 1,500 animal species globally.
Wow. So was half a bottle of tequila.
That is hilarious. So this is, I think I kind of knew this. With over 800,000 LGBT residents, San Francisco is the highest LGBT populated city in the world.
Because it's the mothership.
The mothership.
The mothership.
That's funny.
Guess what year the first ever sex change operation was carried out?
Oh gosh, I bet it was a really long time ago.
What?
The first
What's his name? The one that
Kris Jenner?
Yeah, was
Or
that?
not Kris Jenner, Bruce Jenner.
I mean,
Sorry, Chris.
I don't
Bruce
know.
Jenner.
did he go all the way? I don't know.
Did he do bottom surgery?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good
I think he did.
question.
But anyways, the first sex change operation was carried out in 1968.
Oh,
So it's not
that's
that far
recent.
back. Yeah.
Not 69.
I know, right? They couldn't
That's
have waited
hilarious.
one more year.
There's no research that has conclusively proven what creates homosexuality, heterosexuality, or bisexuality. The pink triangle was used to symbolize gay men within Nazi concentration camps during World War II. Lesbians were sometimes required to wear a black triangle.
Interesting.
I never knew that.
I've-
I've seen the triangle, but I didn't know what it
I
meant.
know. Also, like if you're in a Nazi concentration camp, why do we need to differentiate between
I have
It's
no
a
idea.
horrible
And
place to be to
who's
begin with.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
Exactly.
Why make it worse and
Exactly.
have
Why?
to-
Exactly. That's what I mean. Why? Would it matter?
Records of same-sex relationships have been identified in nearly every culture throughout history with varying degrees of acceptance. Remember in ancient Greek times, don't they say that homosexuality was very, like everyone was homo, don't they say that?
Or they just look like promiscuous,
It's a-
right? Or
yeah.
Yeah, they were
or,
promiscuous.
see, there's a lot
I
of
think.
alcohol and wine going on around
Yes.
there.
Right? A lot of wine, yeah.
Yes.
It's been highlighted that gay people are more likely to be left-handed much more than heterosexuals. Isn't that funny?
That is.
Oh, you
That's
right-handed or
interesting.
left-handed?
Right.
Right-handed.
My what? Bi-handed?
Right-handed
Okay.
or
I
left-handed?
thought I said bi-handed. I mean, depending, I can do right or left, but I mean, yeah, right.
Do you know where the word lesbian derives from? From the Greek island Lesbos, which was home of the Greek poet Sappho, who proclaimed her love for girls within her poetry.
Okay.
And then the first celebrity to publicly come out as gay was American actor and interior designer William Hayes back in 1933.
Wow.
There are now 1 million children within the US who are currently being raised by same-sex couples. And then thanks to the opening ceremony of the London 2020 Olympics, the first gay kiss was screened in Saudi Arabia. That's crazy. The first gay kiss wasn't screened until 2020 in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. That's crazy.
And the first televised lesbian kiss in the UK was in 1993. That's still pretty late too, no?
I would, yeah.
And then the last one, the world's oldest surviving LGBT organization is the Center for Culture and Leisure, COC, C-O-C, in the Netherlands. It was founded in 1956 and used this name to cover its taboo purpose. That's it.
Interesting.
So many interesting.
Do you want kids? Speaking of that,
Yes. I mean,
little fact in there.
I thought I would have a family at this point, but it wasn't in the cards. I have amazing nieces and nephew. Both nieces are in U.S. going to school, and they're coming to visit me next weekend. So, if it was something my partner, or husband wanted to do, I'm open to the idea.
Okay.
But I mean, the clock is ticking.
Right. Right.
So I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I have a little brother from Big Brothers Big Sisters. We've been hanging out since he was 7.
Yeah.
And we've been together 4 years, so we hang out still.
Super cool.
Yeah, he's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
So, yeah.
Now it's time for the celebrity cut, where we marinate in the juices of the celebrities. And I want to talk about lavender marriages. You know what a lavender marriage is, right? So you want to explain it, Jess?
I think the traditional lavender marriage is when a gay man and a gay woman get married to each other.
To maintain a certain image.
Unless I'm a bad gay.
Or for legal benefits.
Yeah, but then they still have their relationships on the side.
And apparently they're very prevalent in Hollywood for these actors that don't want people to know that they're gay.
Or at least they used
So they
to
marry.
be.
They marry. So I would marry a woman, but yet I have my time on the side, not in public.
Yes.
Like Tom Cruise.
Exactly.
Yes,
Tom Cruise
yes.
is a huge one. And it is weird that his marriage to Nicole Kidman lasted the exact same amount of years that his marriage to Katie Holmes. And as soon as both Nicole and Katie turned a certain age, that's when they got divorced. That makes it seem
It's
like
like all
it was a
written out.
contractual
I
marriage.
love me some Nicole Kidman. Come on, she's such a class
gorgeous.
act.
I know.
She's beautiful.
I know.
Do you know what else is rumored to be going around is that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are in a lavender marriage. And it is kind of weird
Please,
how...
God.
You may have a chance.
He's not
Let's
Zac
channel
Efron,
it, channel
but
it.
he'll do.
Oh my
Ryan
God.
Reynolds will do.
Ryan Reynolds, like, just saying, like, come on.
Because it is kind of weird how every interview he does, he somehow ends up bringing up his sex life with Blake Lively when he's not even asked about it. He goes on and on about how much sex they have or how good their sex is or how they just had sex. And it's like, why would you do that unless you're trying to convince us of something?
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
I'd rather
That's
hear that than all of his, like, what is it, telecom commercials?
So, right. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. I love me some Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
So come on.
Although I do think Blake Lively is straight. I don't think that's
I don't
like
think she's-
the true. What I think now lavender marriages can be described as if just one of the partners
Just
is
one of
gay
them.
and the other one is straight. Because I think she is. Because I think she fell in love with Justin Baldoni. I think that's
so too.
what happened in that whole
The plot
scenario.
thickens.
That's what I think.
They also say that Hugh Jackman is gay and that him and Ryan have this like thing going on.
on the
Because they are they have that bromance that they go on and on about always. And they're very touchy-feely.
For that to be continued, let's watch it on OnlyFans.
Yeah. And
I'll sign up for $29.95 a
We'll
month.
subscribe. We'll subscribe.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Yes, thank you, God.
right? John Travolta is another one who was rumored to be in a lavender marriage with Kelly Preston.
Really?
Yeah. Wasn't there a lot of rumors about him getting happy ending massages from males?
I don't
Like
remember
masseuses
I remember
coming
that.
out.
I don't know.
You don't.
What are you reading?
I know. Where are you getting your celebrity gossip?
I love it though, right? It's like keep it coming.
So where's your favorite place to go on a first date?
I would say somewhere where it's a little bit quieter. There's this place that has a nice rooftop restaurant, and you can see sunsets and
Oh, pretty.
something like that.
Is that in Tempe?
It's downtown Phoenix, Central Phoenix. Also, I would say going for ice cream sometimes is always a great place to go. You know, talk, go for a little walk. Somewhere, I mean, I love movies, but I don't think a movie theater is great for a first date because you're sitting there quiet. You know, you don't want to be rude and talk to other people. Hikes are great. I love going on hikes. I like being active, like I said before. So I think food, you're pretty safe with food. And maybe like a little walk to get some ice cream or something afterwards. I think it's pretty classic, but somewhere you can sit and talk.
Get to know each other.
Get to know each other.
Speaking of frozen treats, it's now time for the most delicious segment of the show, Zoyo and Tell, sponsored by Zoyo, your neighborhood yogurt place. Now, have you guys ever been to their pajama night? Where if you wear your pajamas and go to Zoyo on a Wednesday after 7 p.m., you get 50% off, which is a huge discount. And they have amazing toppings, like the most toppings I've ever seen. They have boba, and they have like not only toppings, but like creams you can put on, like a melted marshmallow, caramel chocolate.
It's amazing. I always take my little brother from Big Brothers. Landon and I go all the time, and he loves it. He loads it up with the little gummy worms, and I mean, it goes by weight, right? So I'm like, you make sure you eat all that. And I taste everything, and I always go to the same. I always have like my salted caramel, egg, cake batter, and vanilla.
I do the same thing. I always go in there thinking I'm going to get something different, and then I try every single one, and then I end up exactly with the exact same thing I always get.
I mean, I do like me some chocolate. So
Traditional chocolate, yeah.
and ice cream too.
Okay, pick one. Some are innocent, some are not so innocent.
Uh-oh. Oh, my glasses.
So I was just going to
I'm
say
like,
that.
did you see that?
How he's looking at the card. He's trying to find the spot.
I wear them when I work sometimes. All right. Tell us about the worst sex talk that you've experienced in the bedroom.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. We haven't had that question yet.
That's the worst, when you're like making out with some guy and he tries to sex talk and it's not attractive. Like he does a baby voice or.
Oh my God. Let's see here. Somebody who thinks they're in a porn, right? And I'm like, no, that doesn't work for me. I mean, or it's like just somebody making noises and voices. I'm like, are you done yet? I mean,
Are you done yet?
like,
Just shut up. Shh.
yeah, it's just like, shh. You're prettier when you don't talk.
That's funny.
Yeah, I would just say something like that. People like over exaggerating stuff.
Or when you can tell it's forced and not supernatural, or they're saying it because they heard it in a porn,
Yeah,
because
just
they saw
like,
it somewhere.
I mean, porn's not real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Right.
So yeah, I would say something like that for sure.
That's funny.
Do you have any other questions?
I don't.
Do you have any other questions or comments or concerns or anything you want to say or add?
No, I just think it'd be nice one day to meet my person, and I figured why not try this out,
And he is out there.
You have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us here at the Meat Market, and thank you so much to JC, our sizzling single. If you want to meet JC, go to our website, themeatmarketpodcast.com, or any of our social media platforms at Meat Market Podcast. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Tactical Tax Strategies. If you want to save more money and keep more in your wallet, you need to go to Tactical Tax Strategies. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week at the Meat Market. Oh my God, I just totally got catfished. He looks absolutely nothing like his picture.
So I found out the guy that I've been dating is married with kids. His wife just reached out to me.